Hello YouTube and welcome once again. Today we are going to do this Bulldog #1 box by Nick and the image name is bulldog.ova and difficulty is like beginner or intermediate. So I have already downloaded this box in my environment and it's up and running. So the IP of this box is 192.168.10.109. So let's start with the nmap, nmap-r. So not to randomize the ports, it will go in a sequential order. -v for verbose the output, and -sv to enumerate the version, banner grabbing, find out what are the service details. -p- for all TCP ports, and let's just write it to a file called nmap tcp-full 192.168.10.109. So the nmap is up and running, and immediately it sees 2380 and 8080 ports are open on this box. And now it's going to run that sv script and sv flag, this flag, and it's going to do that banner grabbing and find out what exactly it's running. So normally on 23 there is telnet, but on this box the SSH is running, and we can see that it's open SSH 7.2 P2 and it's a Ubuntu bits box, since this banner is telling us that it's a Ubuntu. And on port 80 and port 8080 we see this WSGI server, which is basically a Python based web server. So this is going to be most probably a Python based application. So let's go to the IP that is going to be 192.168.10.109. Oops, 109. And it says Bulldog Industries. Thank you for visiting Bulldog Industries website, the world #1 purveyor of higher quality English Bulldog photography. Unfortunately, we are suspending businesses operations until further notice. On the 1st of this month, we were made aware of a breach of our technology systems. We are currently assessing the possibility that hackers may have gotten access to our customer payment information. Do not be alarmed, as we will be providing simple credit monitoring for all affected customers. For more information on this, please see our public disclosure. So this is it. I am looking at the source code. I have hit Ctrl+U to look at any comments or anything like that, but I am not seeing anything suspicious. Just everything is normal. We have this notice page, but before moving on, let's just visit the port 8080 to see that if there is something any different. And on port 8080 I am again seeing the same message and public notice, and it seems that the both pages are same. So before we go on to the notice page, let's start that gobuster dir, or maybe like feroxbuster --url 192.168.10.109, and let's just start it on port 80 instead of going port 8080 first. So feroxbuster is running, and by default it uses this user share seclet discovery web content rough medium directories.txt. And I see an admin auth dev shell notice. So let's just visit the admin, and what do we get on admin? And on admin, it's loading. It's saying this is Django's site admin. So this web application is basically made in Django. Django is a popular framework in Python, and there is another framework that's called Flask, but Django is very popular and many people use this framework. So we can try like admin, and I don't think so that this is going to be the intended path. Maybe admin password. And since this is Django framework, so I'm not going to try any SQL injection or cross-site scripting, because Django itself is very secure and it has become very mature over the period of time. So what else? We can try this notice thing which we saw earlier. So let's just go to notice and see what we have. So here's the message: to our valued customers, on the 1st of this month, our technically Analysts discovered a breach of our payment card system. I don't know how these hackers did it. Our technical folk are telling me something about a clamshell and smelly cow. Smelly cow may be like they are hinting about dirty cow, I guess, because that's a vulnerability I can think of. Clamshell, I mean, we can think of this, search this vulnerability at the end of the video. Maybe you can try at your own end. I'm not sure about that. To prove Bulldog Industries' commitment to our customers, I fired all of our existing technical staff. That's what happens. All of them. We are going to restart from ground up. No more excuses. Our tech guys will have to make do with that. They've got. We have increased their budget 1%. Wow, that's a big increase. Anyways, so you got to see the neck beards on the new guys, real tech hipsters, Zuckerberg types. They knew their stuff. Security won't be a problem from now on. I like to remind our valued customer that we'll be providing basic credit monitoring services as a result. And your truly friend, Winston Churchy, the CEO himself. So let's see Control-U, and if we have anything, nothing again. We don't have anything. And do we have this notice on port 8080? And we don't have anything special. In admin auth notice, what do we have on admin auth? So let's try visiting this admin auth. Oops, this again redirects us to this page, and let's see what other thing we have found. We have found this dev thing. So what do we have on dev? Under development, these pages are, I mean, they have a lot of information, this development or dev things or staging things. So do we have this page on port 8080 also? We do have. I guess these both servers are same. They are just replicating their ports on two different, replicating the server on two different listening ports. So I'll close this port 8080 and see what under development is all about. So it says, if you are reading this, you are likely a contractor working for Bulldog Industries. Congratulations. I am your new boss, team lead, Alan Brook. The CEO has literally fired the entire dev team and staff. As a result, we need to hire a bunch of people very quickly. I'm going to try and give you a crash course on building Bulldog Industries website. So they are their website was hacked, Bulldog website, and now they are going to rebuild their website. And APD exploited a vulnerability in the web server which gave them a low privilege shell. Right from there, they exploited dirty cow. I mean, dirty cow is a famous vulnerability. We can search over of this. That basically gives privilege. That this is a privilege escalation vulnerability that gives a low level user admin privileges or makes that user root user on the Linux system. This is very famous and very stable. We haven't had a chance to make sure there are no lingering traces of the hack. If you find any, send me an email. And now they are saying how they are preventing these breaches. Mr. Churchy, we are moving from PHP, from entirely new server initially. So from basically when the server was hacked, they were using PHP and PHP MyAdmin or other CMS was used. So the new website will be written in Django. SSH is enabled to the system. This will be turned off soon, as well as we will transition to using webshell. So they are designing this new website in Django, and they will not be using this SSH, which we saw earlier, open. So they will be removing this thing and using this webshell. This tool is explained in the link below. Additionally, be aware that we will start using MongoDB. However, we haven't fully installed that yet. Also be aware that we will be implementing a revolutionary AV. AV is antivirus system that is being custom made for us by a vendor. It touts being able to run every minute to detect intrusion detection and hacking. I guess that seems like there's some kind of cron job. Once that's up and running, we will install it on the system. So here we have the domain name bulldogindustries.com. So let's just try adding it to our host file. So we can try looking for some other domains. So let's see, hosts and 192.168.109 is the IP. So I have added over here, and do we have dev shell? What is dev shell? Right, this is the dev shell. So here we have potential users: Alan, William, Malik, Kevin, Ashley, Nick, and Sarah. So We can try doing the brute force. Potential users. So what were the users? Let me just get Alan, William, Malik, Kevin, and Ashley, Nick, and Sarah. So these are the users that are present on this system, right? So before we move on to other thing, we can try low hanging fruit. So I'm going to use the Medusa tool for doing the brute force. So Medusa host is going to be 192.168.10.109. I want to brute force the SSH protocols. Users is going to be user file is going to be potential users. Password is going to be again potential users, verbose, and number of threads is going to be 4. And if you find a valid password, so the -f flag will break this process. So this Medusa is going to be SSH brute forcing tools, is an SSH brute forcing tool, and we are specifying the same username and password file for this. So it says the port 22 is unreachable, right? So normally SSH is running on port 22, but not in this case. It is running on port 23. So the flag is -n23, and now it's running. It's trying, but it's failing now. Alan, Alec, Alan, it's trying, but I don't think so that this is going to be again the intended path. But once you see SSH open, and that is using a password base SSH, so we can try brute forcing this, or maybe we can try some common password. Let's say -p, maybe admin. Oops, or just one last try, that is going to be password. This feroxbuster has again completed, and we haven't found anything other than this. So before moving on, let's just try gobuster for doing any subdomains. Like for example, right now we have Bulldog. If we do Bulldog Industries, if I can type, it resolves to, oops, what was the name? bulldogindustries.com. Did I try Bulldog Industries? Oops, I just forgot to add 1. This is going to be 192. Right. Right. So now if we do this, it's going to resolve to our local IP, but I just need to find out that if we have some domains like admin.bulldogindustries.com, basically finding out any subdomains. So for subdomains, I'm going to use this tool called gobuster. vhost is going to be for virtual hosts, and I guess I need to specify the word list, that is going to be user share sec list, DNS discovery, DNS subdomains, maybe like 5000.txt. Number of threads is going to be 40, and URL is going to be bulldogindustries.com. that is over here. So come on, HTTP, and our this gobuster is running, and this gc.msds, this is basically a false alarm, status 400, so we'll ignore that, and we are getting a timeout. Maybe we have specified too many threads. So I don't see anything. It has finished, and we don't see any subdomains. So what else we can do? We can go over this web shell and see what we get. Please authenticate with the server to use the web shell, but I don't have any valid credentials. One thing, we didn't see the source code of this web page, so let's just try CTRL+U and look out for anything interesting, and we have some comments. Nice. Need these password hashes for testing. Django's default is too complex. We'll remove these in production. It's not like a hacker can do anything with a hash, right? So they are saying that hacker cannot do anything with this hash. So let's just first identify what this hash is. I don't think this is a SHA hash because this is a pretty long string. So hash ID is another tool that can help you identifying the hash algorithm. And it says that it seems like this is SHA-1, right? So we can use this tool hashcat for hash tracking, but right now I'm going to use this crackstation website. So crackstation.net, and let's just paste all the hashes inside here. The first hash is going to be this, second is going to be this. We can specify up to 20 hashes, so I hope this works. And second last, and this is the last one. I am not a robot, and let's just hit crack hashes. So the first four it didn't find, but the last two hashes were found, that is Bulldog and Bulldog lover. So let's just, I guess the last two hashes were of Nick and Sarah. So can we try logging in as Nick? So for that we can go inside the admin, the default Django path, and Nick is the user and password is, this is Nick and the password is Bulldog. So Nick and Bulldog, and we are inside the Django's administration, but I don't have any permissions. View site, oops, change password. Right, we can try this password Bulldog with, or Bulldog lover with Medusa. I mean, over here we had Medusa. Yes, we have over here. So vim potential passwords is going to be Bulldog lover, and we are going to spray this password potential password, right? So let's see if we get any success. I don't think so that it's working, and it's not. So this is again not the intended path. So what else we can do? Yes, we have this web shell. Now we are logged in. If I refresh, I should have this cookies of this. Do we have, I have storage, I have these cookies. If now I go inside the web shell, right, I am authenticated, right. So the web shell is accessible to me, and it says welcome to the web shell, the world's most secure web shell. Web shell prevent users from running dangerous shell commands. It does this by limiting the specific command that can be run. A list of commands can be seen below. So we can try something like command injection in this. All commands are run on the server itself, so it's very important to update the web shell as soon as possible if a vulnerability is discovered. So can we try uname? And I caught you hacker. Uname. Oops. ls. And right now it showed that what is our path. Django Bulldog. So we can run pwd. If I try pwd id, it says the semicolon can be used. Hacker can be used to execute multiple commands. So this cannot be run. So let's just try reading the source code. That is going to be, I guess, urls.py. So if we can do cat, sorry, let me just grab the ID. That is going to be urls.py to see what exactly is the source code. And it sends us in Bulldog urls.py. Right, this is the exact path. And I don't see anything in the let's just ls again to list the all the files present. urls.py, views.py. Maybe we can try views.py. Views.py. Here's the source code. Commands ifconfig ls echo pwd cat rm, and it just checks that if there is this, it says can be used to multiple commands, invalid command. So I get it. So we can try this pipe thing. I mean, the pipe can be so can we run id? We cannot run id, but if I try ls with id, I get a command execution because this pipe was not blacklisted by the this group, the dev group. So let's just go to rev shells and get our reverse shell, and we can try another command. Let's just say ls uname -a, and here we get this is ubuntu. So what is my ip? My ip is 110 lvnp. Let's just start on port 8080, and this is going to be my ip on which I want the reverse shell. Oops, port is going to be 8080, right? And I want, let's just look that we have, if we have python or python 3, ls which python, and we have python, and which python 3. We do have python and python 3, but let's just do this python 3. You can try with python 1 also. So if I paste over here like that, I should have a reverse shell in here, right? And run, and I don't see anything. ls, nope, it's not running. Maybe we can try encoding it, base 64. Let's just try the bash thing, bash encoded, and ls pipe this thing echo this base 64-t bash. So this is just the encoded payload, and it should give us reverse shell if everything goes correctly. And it's loading. I hope that we have something, and we have a connection back. So we have a reverse shell, and our current user ID is Django, group ID is Django, and we have a pseudo group. But before we do that, I will go to my GitHub, my cheat sheet repo, because I have that TTY to reverse shell thing. So I will first Control Z, STTY raw echo, FG, enter, and export shell bash, export extern. And what is my size? 38,145. So this is going to be 38,145. So now I have this complete functionality of going up command and ls with tab autocomplete, something like that. So this shell is not any dumb anymore. So what am I was in the sudo group, right? I can try running the sudo -l command and try specifying the password. That may be sudo. Oops, I don't know, maybe password. And I don't see anything. So right now where we are inside this group. Bulldog is again the folder, and what do we have other than that? We have Django and Bulldog admin. We can try going inside the Bulldog admin, and I don't see anything. Hidden admin directory. So let's just go inside here and see what we have. Cat note. Nick, I'm working on the backend permission stuff. Listen, it's super prototype, but I think it's going to work out great. Literally run the app, give your account password, and it will determine if you should have access to the file, to that file or not. So they're discussing about this web application that uses this Django credentials or Django's password or Django's admin cookie to give you access to this web shell. I'm not sure how I'll implement. For others, maybe the web server is the only one who needs to root access sometime. So what do we have other than that? Oh, I think I forgot to look at this custom app thing. Sorry, not hidden. Custom app. Sorry, this is an application. And I just, oops, this seems like this is a 64-bit application. Right. So maybe we have some credential inside that, but let's just go and see what is the, it's Ubuntu 16. So this may be vulnerable to a lot of attacks, like, but this was launched back in, if we go to one hub, this came in 2017. So maybe the intended path is not to use the exploits like do we have GCC inside it? The program is not installed, so we can try that sudo vulnerability, sudo dash version. Sudo may be vulnerable to different attacks, or maybe there is a dirty pipe vulnerability. Dirty pipe vulnerability that's been around like in 2022, CVE 22. We can try this thing too. But before we do that, I would like to do run some automated script like LINPEAS so that it does all the enumeration for myself. And let's just download this LINPEAS. And where are the flags? I didn't see any flags. The user flag, or maybe like hidden AV directory. Nice. We see it is a hidden AV directory. What's happening over here? Oh yes, they told us that they are designing some latest antivirus that is going to run every minute. So maybe there is a cron job. But what else we have inside the home? ls, I don't see any flags. Maybe inside Django. Bulldog, and do we have any flags? I don't see any flags. And if we have any SUID binary, 4002 is greater than def null. This is going to find out any SUIDs in this box. And nope, I think that everything is on default. So let's just go to dev.shm and download this LINPEAS script and see what we have. Make it executable and LINPEAS.sh. I'll save this output t this output to lin.log, and it's running, and things in yellow or orange, they seem the most vulnerable, and you should look at those things. Let's just go at the top. So we are in the sudo group, but we don't have any password. If I have the password, I would basically run the sudo commands. Ubuntu 16, so we have different exploits. Sudo version exploit, we can try looking at this too. And it just hops lin.log. Just look over again. So these are other exploits. Dirty cow, it's again vulnerable to dirty cow. Dirty cow too. We can try looking at dirty pound kit. So there are a lot of exploits that we can try, but before we do that, let's just keep looking. And do we have any cron jobs? I mean, can we run AV? We have a cron job, run AV and run AV. So let's just notice that, oops, inside the cron.t we have this run AV script. So let's just go inside it first and see what we have. And only 3 ports are running. Sudo crop. We have root user, Bulldog admin, and Django. These are the 3 different users. Oh, sorry, 2 different users are Bulldog admin and Django. So before wasting any other time, let's just look out for this. Oh, we have found out this Django password of admin user, that is admin at Bulldog Industries, and this is the hash. These password based key derivative F2 algorithms, SHA-250, they take a very long time. So password cracking, so may not be a good idea to brute force the AV application. And in again, interesting writable files owned by me, right? So this is something interesting we have over here. So these are the 2 things which I need to look at first. Cron jobs basically are repetitive jobs that run and usually system admins or maybe DevOps engineers place different kind of dev jobs for automated repetitive tasks. So right, what do we have inside this? Let's just first see. It's owned by root and readable by root. So can I so this is saying that it's running every 1 minute this script as root user. So what are the permissions of this file? So this RWX means that this is read, write and executable by everyone, although the file is created and owned by the root user, but the permissions are set incorrectly. So if there is a cron job running, we can basically place our malicious code inside it and use it for privilege escalation. So before we do that, do we have pspy inside home, John, downloads, grab pspy? I have ps5.64s. You can grab it over here. pspy or process spy is used to find out any cron jobs running Linux processes without root permissions. You can download from here. I have already the release. Right, so I've downloaded this one, and let's just start the Python 3m HTTP server. What was the IP? Let me just look at the IP first. I always forget my IP. Python 3 -m HTTP server, come on, 80. And I need to download this file. So I'll just do this wget 192.168.10.110, and it's downloaded. So just make sure that this is executable. And now if we try it, we should see that cron job running everything every time, and its UID should be 0. That means that root, it's being run as root. So right here we see it that on 4.12.01 hidden AV directory was running. So now what we can do, we can try using that. We can get a reverse shell. So right, so this cron job is basically running every time. So we will try changing this thing. Do we have vim? I hope we have vim. New directory. Oops. All right, I need to specify. Yes, we have over here. So let's just comment this thing out. And so right now I have permissions of etc passwd file that is not writable by everyone or executable by everyone. So this vulnerability or this exploit or privilege escalation, in this privilege escalation we are going to make this file world writable and executable, and by this we can inject our malicious admin user in this. So for this this is going to be chmod 777 etc passwd, and I hope that we do have, right? So etc 44 and by 414 I think this script should get executed, and we should see the changed permissions on this etc passwd file. So it's 57, 59, 01 and 03. So if we go over here, right, so right now these were the original or by default permissions, and now we have read write executable. So our script basically ran and it has made this etc passwd file world writable. So now again in my cheat sheet I have this so if we just do this inside the passwd file, it's going to create a user with password of, let's just create a user YouTube, or maybe please subscribe. So this command is since this etc passwd file is now world writable, we are going to inject our please subscribe user, and its hash is going to be password 123. So password hash is going to be this, and it's going to be having UID and root permission. So let's just do this, and we have, and now if we do etc password, so we have this user, and now if I do su 123, oops, it was pass 123, pass 123, right, I am root, ID is this, and that's it I guess. Inside the root get congrats, congratulations on completing this VM. That wasn't so bad, was it? Let me know what you thought on Twitter, and perhaps this week will be coming and more challenging. So that's it I guess. What else we have inside this root folder? I don't see anything. pwd root. So I guess that's it. This was an interesting bug that in which we first exploited that vulnerability of command injection, and from command injection we tried this cronjob abuse to get the root user. So I hope you like this video, and if you like it, please hit subscribe and like button. I'll see you next time. Till then, bye bye.